Hi everyone, what's up? My name is Suki Tong. Welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to the weekly series Nuggets for the Soul. As mentioned last week, I am a psychologist and a certified points of view practitioner. So in this series, Nuggets for the Soul, I will be leaving little nuggets, little insights, something that you can take home for reflection or something that will be uplifting for the week. For today's series, you will need a piece of paper, a notebook, a pen, and your phone. Now, before I start this video, I need you for the next few minutes, put your phones aside, put your phones on the silent mode, and dedicate this time for you. This is your time. Now, we are all familiar with this term, social distancing. Social distancing is deliberately increasing the physical space between people to avoid spreading illness. So stay at least 6 feet away from other people lessens your chance of catching COVID-19. I came across interesting memes this week. I love memes. So let's check it out. So this is Hulk. Yeah. And he says, it's like I was made for this when you're an introvert and the government is advising social distancing and self-isolation. That's the next meme. Let's check it out. This is so hilarious, the next meme. Coronavirus lockdown, how introverts think it will be, how extroverts think it will be, how the media thinks it will be, and how it actually is. It's funny, isn't it? How the media thinks it will be. All hyped up. Yep. I came across an interesting article last week about social distancing, and it was posted in the Washington Post on March 26. Dr. Daniel Eldrick, a professor of political science and public policy at Northeastern University, he mentioned that the term social distancing can be misleading. And he said that perhaps we could use physical distancing. It could be used to replace the word social distancing. So the WHO, World Health Organization, has come to the same conclusion, and they started using the term physical distancing. So physical distancing has taken a toll on all of us. So as human beings, we are social beings. We socialize over dinner. We socialize over lunches. We socialize over lunches, we socialize over dinner, over coffee. And a good friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, has mentioned to me recently, he said that the fact that we are at the stay-at-home order, it has affected all of us because we are social beings, you know, and we are no longer able to do all that for the time being. Meet people for lunch or meet people for coffee or meet people for dinner, or and we feel isolated and we feel all alone to face this challenge that's before us. As I mentioned, every week I will be presenting something for you to take home, something for you to think about. So week 1 nugget was faith, hanging in there when the going gets tough. Week 2's nugget was focus on what we can control. Remember, I mentioned about the 7 tips I left with you. 7 tips about what you can control. And guess what is today's nugget? What is it all about? Can you guess what's today's nugget all about? Just make a guess. You got it right. Today's nugget is togetherness. Togetherness. Doesn't it sound like an irony, this term togetherness, that I'm introducing into today's conversation? So today's conversation will be about togetherness, how we can be plugged into the community in the midst of chaos, in the midst of physical isolation. So today's series, I will be using something that's very close to my heart, something that I use for my coaching. I'll be using Points of View, the coaching game. So, Points of View, the coaching game, came out from Israel, and the founders are Alfred Shani and Yaron Golan. As mentioned, I'm a psychologist and a Points of View practitioner. So I use Points of View methodologies in my coaching. So I'm going to show you 2 cards from the Points of View, the coaching game. That's a card Together. And the other card, Intimacy. Now, Points of View, they challenge participants to view things from a fresh angle. So the medium of pictures or photos, it challenges us to look at things from a new angle. And it stimulates the right brain, which is the emotional half of the brain, and the left brain, which is the logical half of the brain. Now, at this segment, I will be using Points of View cards from the coaching game. I'll be using some of the cards from the coaching game. Are you ready to play this game? Okay, let's go. So, in this segment, I will ask you 3 questions. This is the first question. How do I see my friends and loved ones? So, this segment, I will be featuring 4 photos. And you will choose 1 photo or 1 picture that corresponds with the question, how do I see my friends and loved ones? I will go through very slowly the pictures. And when you have chosen that picture, you will take a picture from the screen, that 1 photo that you have chosen. Let's play the game. Okay, so the question is, how do I see my friends and loved ones? I'm going to play some music in the background. Okay, are you ready? Have you picked your photo? So, in correspond to the question, how do I see my friends and loved ones? Okay, so you have taken the photo, taken the picture. Now I want you to look very closely at the card that you have picked. Look at the card that you have picked. from your phone. What is the message in the picture? What stands out about the picture? Look at the card. Look at the picture that you have taken. Is it the word or the picture that stands out? What speaks to you most in the picture? Look at the details of the picture. What is the most interesting detail? And how does this picture relate to your life or correspond with what you are feeling today? You may write your thoughts on the piece of paper right now. Now, at this juncture, if you are watching this program with someone, you may want to share with the person what you have written, or you may want to share your reflections on the questions that I've presented to you. So that's the first question. How do I see my friends and loved ones? Okay, let's look at the second question. Now, the second question is this. How do my friends and loved ones see me? Okay, remember the first question is how do I see my friends and loved ones? Now it's how do my friends and loved ones see me? Now I will be featuring 4 pictures or 4 cards. Now, like the first one, you will pick one card. Just pick one card out of the 4 that I've shown you. The one card that corresponds with this question. How do my friends and loved ones see me? Okay, I'm going to play some music. Okay, so that's the second question. How do my friends and loved ones see me? So have you picked a card and have you taken a picture? Okay, so let's look at the card. Look at the picture that you've taken. What stands out about the picture? Is it the word or the picture that stands out? What speaks to you most in the picture? If there's an interesting detail in that picture, what would that be? And how does this picture relate to your life today? What stands out about the picture? What speaks to you most in the picture? How does this picture relate to your life today? So at this juncture, you may want to write your thoughts in response to the question. Now, you have the option to pause the video so that you can write your replies in reflection to the questions that I asked. Okay, now question number 3. Let's look at question number 3. Now, this is interesting. Question number 3. How would I like, okay, now, how would I like my friends and loved ones to see me? So what would be the ideal one? Okay, how would I like my friends and loved ones to see me? So the last 2 questions, I will feature 4 photographs or 4 pictures, and you choose only one picture that corresponds to the question, how would I like my friends and loved ones to see me? And when you have chosen that one picture, you will take your phone and take a picture of the screen. Okay? I'm going to play some music in the background while you look at the picture. So that's question number 3. Have you picked a card? So look at the card that you have picked in your phone. Okay, look at it. What's the message in the picture? What speaks to you most in the picture? How does this picture relate to your life or correspond with what you're dealing with in your life today? So at this point, you may want to write down your thoughts in response to the questions. Okay. Ha! Okay. Now at this juncture is homework time. Okay. Let me just stop sharing the start the video and stop. Sorry, let me stop the slides. Okay, so we're going to do homework. Okay, now last week we did an activity online. For this week, are you ready for that? Your homework, okay, is that you will choose 2 people in your life. Okay, so think of 2 people in your life. Yeah, okay. Now, I'm going to give you a challenge, okay? I mean, it's no fun without challenge, isn't it? Okay, so you're going to write on a slip of paper, yeah, a one-liner. Okay, you know what? You know the meaning of one-liner, right? Like you're awesome, you're amazing, you know, one-liner. Okay, so give them the slip of paper. All right. So if the 2 people that you have chosen, they don't live in the same house as you, you can, guess what? You can text them. Or you can be creative, you know, give them a call. Okay. So what you're gonna give them is this. How you appreciate them, okay? In that one-liner. Okay. And what you are grateful for them. How you appreciate them and you're grateful for them. Now be creative, think outside the box, okay? So here's the challenge. Guess what? You will do it for the whole week, for 7 days, until the next nugget comes out, okay? Now here's a bigger challenge. It has to be a different one-liner every day. So for example, if you're texting someone, okay, let's say, guys, you're texting a girl that you're really, really interested in, yeah, and you really like her. So for example, day 1, you can say, I am grateful to you for your support. Now, day 2 has to be a different one-liner. Okay, so be creative. Think of the different possibilities or the different qualities about the person to appreciate about them. Okay? Isn't that interesting? I think that's a very interesting homework, isn't it? Now, in closing, as promised in my Instagram, if you have been following me on my Instagram and Facebook, in closing, I would like to read to you a chapter from my next book. It's not out yet. It's a chapter, okay? And I'm going to give you like what we call a sneak preview to my next book. And my next book, I'm not going to tell you the title. It's going to be a surprise. My next book, it will be published this year. And the title of the chapter is Togetherness. That's the title. Since time immemorial, human beings have gathered in groups. They would hunt together and live in groups. The early caveman was safer in a group. Being in the group served as a protection against predators and creatures of the wild. Those who were plugged into groups had higher survival rates compared to those who were on their own. Hence, there was strength and safety in numbers. Now, in this day and age, Modern human beings are part of communities that encourage sharing and cooperation. Being part of a group enriches our lives and enables us to network and share our expertise. As a psychologist, I have a deep fascination for human behavior across different cultural groups. In June 2018, I traveled to Israel for a live event. My live-in live event was held at Ramot, Israel, from June 17, 2018 to June 21, 2018. When I arrived at Tel Aviv on Saturday morning on June 16, 2018, I had the time to explore the city. In my short time in Tel Aviv, I visited the Art Museum and the old town of Jaffa. Jaffa is a fascinating place. If you are traveling to Israel, Jaffa is definitely a place to go to. The ancient port city of Jaffa was established way back in 1800 BCE. In fact, archaeologists have discovered some objects that date back to 4,000 years ago, making Jaffa, which was as one of the oldest port cities in the world. It was a quiet day, being Saturday, which was Shabbat, the Jewish day of rest. Shabbat starts at sundown on Friday and ends at sundown on Saturday. I remember experiencing the sweltering heat that day, with the weather being 120 Fahrenheit. Most of the stores at the flea market were closed for the weekend. I observed communities hanging out at cafes and diners. It was interesting observing groups of people congregating and children playing tag on the cobblestones. Just sitting in a cafe, sipping my chocolate and observing the scene of people congregating was strangely somewhat therapeutic. It didn't matter that I did not understand the smatterings of the Hebrew language exchanged between the people. For a brief moment, I was able to identify with them, from one human being to another, the innate need within all of us to belong. Someone has said that relocating to another country can be a lonely and frightening experience. One has to rebuild the social networks from scratch. The week after I relocated to Las Vegas, USA, I made a trip to Los Angeles from May 18 to May 19, 2019 for a Points of View Level 2 Creative Practice workshop. I'll never forget the welcome I received on the first day of the workshop from LH, one of the participants of the workshop. LH and I had been connecting via Zoom prior to me relocating to the US. LH smiled with tears glistening in her eyes and said, "Suki, welcome home." LH mentioned that she had noted it down in her diary the date when I would relocate to the US. She mentioned she wrote the sentence in her diary on May 10, 2019. Suki comes home. It was a cold morning that day in LA, with the weather being 61 Fahrenheit, and it was raining, but I felt all warm and fuzzy within. Somehow, when I heard those words, it struck a chord and my heart was strangely warm. The aloneness that I felt dissipated. Over the months, I have had opportunities to experience heartwarming experiences through my interactions with people from the little pockets of community I was plugged into, like the Henderson Aikido and Yoga, Vegas Connects networking group, Facebook groups like Community Connections and Maintaining Your Momentum, Rotary Club of Summerlin, Las Vegas, Central Church, Henderson, and the other networking groups. Ironically, I was able to experience in a real sense what togetherness feels like when I moved to Las Vegas, Nevada. Of recent months, of recent days, the coronavirus has been the talk of the town. It seems that the situation is escalating rapidly. Everyone from the newscasters to the people in the grocery stores talk incessantly about the virus. My good friends and I laugh about the scenario of rolls of toilet paper disappearing off the shelves. Someone in the group commented in a jest that perhaps people are preparing for their Halloween costumes, dressing up as zombies and using rolls of toilet paper. Jokes aside, the situation with the coronavirus has been a destabilizing factor for many people. Everything has been halted. Programs which involve mass group gatherings have been cancelled. Flights have been cancelled. People have been laid off from their jobs. Companies and many individuals are facing great financial uncertainty. It's like a wrench has been thrown into the system, and it all comes to a halt. Amidst the uncertainty of the situation of the coronavirus, I've observed myself and the people around me finding solace in groups. However, due to the stay-at-home order that most of us are facing of recent weeks, the social outlet, the element of solace is taken away from us, and we feel all alone to battle this great challenge that looms before us. Social networking groups are running virtually. My dojo is run on a virtual platform, and we log in to watch the videos. A few months ago, we were practicing an interesting technique in the Aikido dojo. The sensei had 3 people stand in the middle with blindfolds on them. They were required to stand really close to each other. The rest of us would surround them, positioning ourselves in a circle. We would take turns to grab their hands. The ones who were blindfolded had to perform a lock or a technique. That was scary, yet interesting. When it came to my turn to stand in the middle of the circle and be blindfolded, it was a scary experience for me. In the midst of the darkness, I could sense my other 2 blindfolded partners next to me. The fear gradually dissipated, and I was able to perform the techniques with ease. When I took off my blindfold after the activity, the experience hit home for me. There was a surge of warmness in my heart that I am never alone. John Donne's 400-year-old poem speaks much truth, especially during these trying times. No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent. We need a community. We need each other. We need each other. Of recent days, in the midst of these trying times, I've experienced a true sense of togetherness. I've seen total strangers looking out for each other, shouting out to one another when toilet rolls are available on the supermarket counters. I've seen total strangers giving each other thumbs up with the comments, hang in there. I've seen people looking out for perfect strangers and helping them rummage through the supermarket counters in search for bottles of chewable vitamin C tablets. My church, Central Church of Las Vegas, in 2 weeks alone, mobilized food pantries and gave out over 1 million pounds of food. I've seen what humanity is capable of being during such times. Someone has said that it takes a tribe to raise a child. In my opinion, it takes a tribe to raise a successful person. We can't do it alone. Find your tribe, a group of people that you resonate with, who will rejoice with your successes and cry with you during your low moments. Finding that tribe takes time. Be patient that sometimes you encounter people who do not get you. Do not settle. Soon, you'll find your tribe or tribes, and when you encounter them, somehow it will click and feel right within. In that tribe, you do not need to prove your worth. You are already accepted for who you are. However, it does not mean that you will not experience conflicts. Sometimes people will get on your nerves, like any family member would, but you love them anyway. When we are in our tribes, we are free to be ourselves, yet connect as a community. I guess that's what togetherness feels like. Sometimes life throws us all the challenges and we have to cross the multiple hurdles. It may seem as if all is dark and you are at a loss in figuring out the direction to take. Pause, center, and breathe. Stay plugged into a community. When you are in the community, you will experience the strength to persevere when the going gets tough. The community will be there to catch you when you fall. You are never alone. They've got this. Soon, very soon, the storm will be over. The path will be clearer to you, and you will know which direction to take. Meanwhile, stay plugged in, be together with people who matter. So, this is it. That's the nugget for this week. So thank you for tuning in. Subscribe to my channel. Every week, as I mentioned before, every week I will be uploading a video and I'll be sharing with you some insights for reflection. So check my website, which is mentioned in the link below. You may click onto the link if you'd like to find out more about my coaching services at www.lifemagicworks.com and check out my link to my book, Quest of Love. And take care, stay safe, enjoy doing your homework, and see you next week.